This is the Gambling Gauchos.
Texas Tech losing again. If you want to get in here, you can. We'll also talk about the rest of the Big 12 basketball slate tonight. Couple of good games. Kansas down big, coming all the way back. No surprise there. That's what they do, but I figured they would jump on it at the end. They could not finish it off. Is what it is there, though, for Kansas, as Kansas State seemingly takes a step forward to be the best team in the Big 12, if not for their loss against TCU this weekend. So TCU, Kansas, Kansas State, all in the mix. Iowa State in the mix there as the top four teams. Baylor looking like they have some life after starting 0-3. Now they're 3-0 in their last three. 3-3 in Big 12 play again. Texas Tech 0-6. Would love to get a win there. We'll see. Great start so far here. If anybody from Kansas State or TCU or otherwise wants to jump in, we don't just have to talk about Texas Tech. We can talk about anything and everything in Big 12 basketball world. Houston also beating Tulane by 20 tonight. For whatever that's worth. I don't know why I said that. Houston is almost a Big 12 team, I guess. Let's get into the game tonight. 81-74 was the final. It looked a little bit like Texas Tech was going to punch back a little bit at the end. They just could not get over the hump. It seems like that's a common theme. Not quite getting over the hump over and over and over to the tune of 0-6 in the Big 12. The final tonight, Baylor 81, Texas Tech 74. And to me, if I was to pull on something that I think this team really struggles with, it's toughness. This team, for whatever reason, just does not have team toughness. I think Pop Isaacs is tough. I think Daniel Bacho is tough. I think they have some tough players, but over and over again for the last 5 or 6 years, we've talked about how the tougher team wins in the Big 12, and Baylor was just tougher. Iowa State was just tougher. Kansas was just tougher at the end of the game, and Texas Tech has not been able to pull anything out. And again, you have some offensive rebounds. Baylor didn't score a bucket for damn near 5 minutes to close that game. They win by 7. That is just incredible. Keontae George, 27 points. Jalen Tyson, 19 and 12. But at this point, you're just reading box scores trying to find something, and you just don't really find anything. Kerwin Walton with 12 off the bench. All the starters in double figures. That feels like a win, right? No, because you gave up 81. At halftime, Texas Tech was shooting 60% from the floor, 57%, 40% from three, 45% from three at halftime, down by 9. When's the last time you had those offensive stats at Texas Tech and the defense just absolutely full-on let you down? And I say this over and over again as we get into this Twitter Spaces, brought to you by Barnett, Howard, and Williams, a law firm there out of Fort Worth. Double grads, double T's, all three of them. They're the partners. Personal attention, proven results. An experienced team of Fort Worth trial attorneys with a heart to help. They don't want you to call them, but if you need to, you can. But as we get into this kind of recap of the game, Texas Tech is good at basketball, but they're not great at anything. And in the Big 12, that's not good enough. Generally, the defense was great, and that covered a lot of holes. You've had holes. This team has had holes. You've had holes every year. But this team is not good enough to cover their holes. That's a weird sentence I just said. But I said it. So if anybody wants to join in, they can on the spaces. Just request, I'll bring you in. They don't have that elite defensive presence. And maybe that goes into toughness. They don't have the mental toughness to be focused for 40 minutes. They don't have the mental toughness to guard for a full possession and not let somebody break free. Offensively, if you did that the rest of the year offensively, you should be able to win some games. But if you look like that defensively the rest of the year, I don't know how many games you can win. And mathematically at 0-6, you're down bad. And we've said this time and again here talking about Texas Tech basketball. You're running out of opportunities. Just flat out running out of opportunities. 6 of the 10 Big 12 teams played tonight. Baylor and Texas Tech, we've talked about that one a little bit, 81-74. Iowa State winning by 11. If you watch that entire game, you can chime in. It would be interesting to hear some perspective on that one. I watched some of the first half, obviously focusing on Texas Tech when they started. I did watch most of that Kansas State game. Kansas State gets up huge early in that game and just kind of held on. Kansas was throwing everything at him. Jalen Wilson had 38 points and 9 boards. Kansas State is a really good team. Kansas has some really good players. And obviously Bill Self coach teams always good. But there comes a point when I don't know. I guess Kansas wasn't going to go undefeated in Big 12 play. It's really hard to win home games. Also, is the Octagon of Doom back? Legitimately back? Obviously always big for Kansas when Kansas comes to town, but the Octagon of Doom is legit. And, oh, by the way, Texas Tech heads to Kansas State next. So if you thought 0-6 was bad enough, Kansas State overlooked TCU to head to Kansas. Maybe they'll overlook somebody coming out of Kansas. I don't know. But 5-1 in Big 12 play is Kansas State. Any Kansas State fans want to talk basketball, you can chime in. TCU gets going tomorrow in Big 12 play. 2 more games to talk about TCU and West Virginia. West Virginia 0-5. Who wins a Big 12 game first? Texas Tech or West Virginia? One of those teams might get their first win when the 2 teams play each other. Also tomorrow, Bedlam. Bedlam tomorrow. Is Iowa State ever going to play not on ESPN Plus again? Iowa State fans have to have beef with ESPN Plus at this point. I think their last game was on ESPN Plus. This game was on ESPN Plus. I think they're going to play on a major network like at the end of February maybe. Here we go. Here's the real TJ Otzelberger coming in. We can talk some Iowa State basketball. What's up, man?
Oh, not much. Just feeling the love tonight.
Yeah. Well, one of us is.
I wouldn't hold on. You guys will be fine. It's just,
Fine.
I kind of think that you're kind of having the rut Iowa State did to start Big 12 play last year where, they lost 4 or 5 in a row. And at the end of the season, they won 6 of their last 7 to get to something like 7-11 in Big 12 play. You're right there. You're right there. So.
Yeah, it can be done. We're not writing off the season. And again, you look good in spots. You have some good players. It's just getting together as a team has been frustrating. Were you at the game tonight there in Ames, Iowa?
I was. It was an incredible crowd. One of the best I've ever seen at Hilton.
How was the return?
Well, I was not in the student section tonight, but I walked in with an hour till tip, and Tyrese walked off before the students even got there. But when he came out with 30 minutes left, it was hell for him.
Yeah, he played 33 minutes, it looks like, was 3 of 11 from the floor, 2 boards, 10 points. That's 10 more than he scored against Texas Tech.
It's not all, 5-star culture beats 5-star talent. And, NIL has
That's
to
what
do
I
with that
keep
too.
hearing.
But,
Yeah.
yeah. But, I'm kind of still holding off on Iowa State. I mean, there's every team in this Big 12, maybe other than Kansas and maybe, I don't know about K-State, but there's going to be a slump. There's going to be like a 2 to 3 loss in a row. It'll happen to mostly every team, but I'm still waiting for that to happen. But as long as we're chugging along right now, I'm feeling good.
Just peeking ahead at the Iowa State schedule, Oklahoma State's up next, then Kansas State in Hilton. That one's on ESPNU. Is the Oklahoma State game also on ESPN Plus?
Yes, it is.
And then Missouri, I guess, is going to be on a major network because it's the SEC Challenge. But what's the deal with the Iowa State 5-1 in conference play playing on ESPN Plus all the time?
Well, they know that we have a big fan base and that our fan base is going to buy those subscriptions. So
yeah.
I think that's what and I think they do that with Kansas too. Like they put us in Kansas last Saturday on ESPN Plus, which was one of the better games of the Big 12 season thus far.
Yeah. I mean, it's a top 15 matchup on ESPN Plus. I'm going to pull some more guys in. Let's head to Joshua. TJ, you can stay on the line. We'll get you in. I know you're not the real TJ Altsberger, but we'll get you in anyways. Joshua, what's up, man? Still connecting. Josh, what's up?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Can you hear me?
Gotcha.
Awesome. Call me a little crazy, but is Mark Adams seat getting a little hot, or is that just me?
It's not just you. I don't know if I'm prepared to go there, but 0-6 in Big 12 play is, let's say, not good. Certainly not good, and I don't think there's any legitimate basketball reason to fire Mark Adams yet. I mean, obviously seats get hot in college basketball when you're not winning.
No, and I agree. It's mainly like the passion and the X's and O's. The offense is still just a tough thing to watch at times, during stretches of the game. But, with Mark making the Sweet 16 his first year, he'll probably get at least, another year after this and see what he's about. So, but just feels a little warm.
I was just going to ask, I think AMAC is going to be really good. That Texas game, he played great. I didn't actually get to watch any of the game tonight, but he looked like he played okay. But what's the whole deal with Mark Adams and his wife or his brother's wife? What's the whole deal with that?
We don't need to rehash that on this Twitter Spaces here. But I'm sure you can find that story somewhere. You can DM us and we'll tell you maybe. I don't know if I want to get into that right now. But as I said, no basketball reasons that any moves would be made. Robert, Kansas State fan, what's up, man?
What up, man? Can you hear me?
We got you, buddy.
All right. I just want to say I think the Octagon of Doom might be back. That was overall the loudest game environment I can remember there. Even the year where we shared the Big 12 title with you guys. I mean, yeah, was it that year, right? 2018, 2019?
Yeah.
God, that feels forever ago.
It does. Long time ago.
But yeah, that was overall the loudest environment I can remember. And usually a lot of KU fans show up to, it's only 90 minutes, but it didn't feel like there was that many that game either. And with your ESPN Plus thing too, I think they're throwing KU and K-State on ESPN Plus the next time they play each other. Overall, the game being there, I was there. It felt like a ref show, not just for KU, but for both teams. It felt like the last maybe 20 minutes, about last 15 minutes of regulation and the whole overtime. The game plan for both teams was just run into the paint, dribble, and chuck up a shot, hoping you're going to get a foul. And the last thing I'll say too is something that stuck out to me after the game, listening to the post-game radio. Jerome Tang had mentioned one of the refs had said something to him about one of his players that he didn't think should have been said, and he talked about how that had really fired him up.
Yeah. I'll have to keep an eye on that. Jerome Tang, really good coach. You have to wonder why it took so long for him to get a head coaching job, but now that he has, you really do feel like he has figured something out at Kansas State. Obviously, first year, you're going to have to get in and go. There's two guys requested. I'm going to take a chance here. Robert, thanks for chiming in.
All right.
It looks like the Alcorn State coaching staff is chiming in. I'm going to give you a short leash, but I'm going to let you in here. No, you know what? No, I'm not. I don't think I can handle it. One guy hosting this with those names there that we have, Desmond and Ralph. Maybe next time when I have two co-hosting can control the floor a little bit better. Great names, though. They're going to keep requesting. I'm not going to let you in. I'm sorry. TJ Otzelberger, back to Iowa State. You said that you might feel a slump coming. Is that just because of the Big 12? Because Iowa State legitimately looks like a top 2 or 3 team in the Big 12 right now.
I just think, the Big 12 is just so good. Anybody can beat anybody on any certain day. So, and it really helped tonight to get the win. You don't want to lose 2 in a row and then have to go to Stillwater on Saturday and, maybe lose 3 in a row. So tonight was a huge win just to get yourself back and contend for a Big 12 title. Iowa State hasn't won a Big 12 title since 1999-2000 season with Marcus Fizer and Jamal Tinsley. So, I mean, if this team can be up there, it's really phenomenal with all the great teams that Hoiberg's had over the years. It'll be phenomenal if they can even be in the top half by the end of the year.
Top half of what?
Of the Big 12, like the top 4.
Okay, top 4. I mean, based on what I've seen Texas Tech play, Iowa State certainly looks like they can be top 3. We'll see if they can stay top 4. Obviously, a long season, 6 games through. That would be a third of Big 12 play, sitting at 5-1 with Kansas, with Kansas State, TCU up there as well. If anybody with a safe for work name wants to chime in, you can. I'm not going to let these two guys in. I'm sorry. It's the People's Post Game. We generally try to let everyone in, but solo gig tonight. If anybody else wants to join, you can. If you have a name that doesn't involve bodily fluids or body parts, I will let you in.
Hey, back to your who's going to win a Big 12 game first?
Yeah,
I think it'll be Texas. I really think it'll be Texas Tech. I think TCU is going to just dismantle West Virginia tomorrow. I think Texas Tech will be the first one.
Simon chiming in. He says Hunter did not have a field goal after the 10-minute mark in the first half, so he'd scored all 10 points in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, he didn't score. The last point he scored was the 12:37 mark in the first half.
Wow. That's tough. So if Iowa State doesn't pull it out here long term, let's say they get 4th in the Big 12, who would you slot above them in order?
Probably Kansas, TCU, and then I think it'll be a battle between Kansas State, Iowa State, Baylor, and Texas.
Okay. I was just wanting to see if you said Kansas State would finish in front of Iowa State.
I mean, they had a great win, and they're playing really well, but I don't know if that's sustainable. I don't know.
Yeah. It's the emotional hedge is what we call it. Ray, what's up, man?
Hey, Kyle, what's happening? Kind of wild, you're into gambling and all that. That TCU is actually a road dog tomorrow. West Virginia favored by 2.
Isn't that crazy how the Big 12 is?
It's pretty nuts.
Texas Tech was a favorite tonight against Baylor.
League in America.
That's true. Some might. It's almost like the best conference in America should not have a top 15 matchup on ESPN Plus.
Well, to what y'all said earlier, just drive those subscription numbers and maybe to stick it to Texas a little bit.
Maybe so, but it's Iowa State that's got the brunt of it back-to-back games, and they have a lot of it coming up too. But maybe it is the strength of that Iowa State fan base. They know that they'll pony up.
I can't remember. Was the TCU Iowa State game, was that on ESPN Plus? I was watching before TCU got dismantled in LA.
It was on ESPN2 for Schill and Hollenberg.
See, there you go.
It's that TCU power, man. You got to get TCU on the networks.
Well, Iowa State, this will be on Saturday, will be Iowa State's fourth big ESPN Plus game in a row.
Tough. Very tough.
Hey, Kyle, maybe you can answer this for me. When's the last time Kansas lost 2 games in a row?
That's a stat that I feel like was really prevalent last year. Have they in a long time? Has Bill Self done it? Maybe they haven't lost twice in a row at home in a long time. Surely Bill Self has lost twice in a row at some point in his career at Kansas.
I can't recall, but I know TCU has Kansas on Saturday.
Tough in a bounce back spot. Let's go to RISU. What's up, man? RISU. Clones. It's your floor, buddy. I'm going to disconnect you. You can try again. Big Hen. What's up, buddy?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
What's up, Kyle? I just wanted to chime in and say Texas Tech is going to be so good at football next year.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, it's baseball. We got to be. What should we be focusing on? Should we keep focusing on basketball? Should we focus on baseball season? Do we need to focus on football next season? What do we need to do? I just need to know what to focus on.
I wake up every morning and I'm hyper focused on the opponent that we're about to play in basketball, and I feel like it's not working. So I'm not focusing on anything anymore.
Do you think
I just know we're going to be good at football.
Do you think it's us, the fans' fault for the 0-6 start? Have we not focused enough? Is that what it is?
Myself, after every loss, I look at myself in the mirror and I say, "This is on you. You didn't do enough. You could have been better." So
it's true. We'll all look at ourselves firmly in the mirror tonight and try to be better tomorrow. That's all we can do. Speaking of football, hey, Ray, lots of moving parts there at TCU. Is TCU going to bounce back, or was that kind of a one-and-done thing for Sonny Dykes?
I think they'll be fine next year. They'll be in contention for the Big 12 title. By no means do I think they will be an automatic back to the trip back to Arlington, but talking about it with our Lupton friends, maybe 9 to 10 wins. Depends on what they do at quarterback.
Do you think Chandler Morris is just the guy, or do you think they'll go get a Sonny Dykes special and try to get a transfer?
I still think they're going to bring someone in. Chandler Morris, we just don't know about him, right? He had the one good game against Baylor last year, but then the next week looked awful against Oklahoma State. So, I mean, he seems to fit Sonny Dykes' system, but I still think they're going to bring in a quarterback. Probably not Walker Howard, as Ole Miss seems to have thrown a huge pile of money his way.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Yeah, they've been known to do that. So I don't know where in the portal they might go, although with all this Kendall Briles news, maybe the Arkansas quarterback that seems to be so fond of Kendall might come to TCU.
Is that going to happen, Kendall Briles?
It seems pretty likely that it will.
I kind of wonder why it hasn't already. If that's the move, I mean, you're pretty deep in the offseason already.
Not sure. Maybe it's a PR thing to let it kind of, you float the initial report out, let cooler heads kind of prevail.
Interesting. All right, let's try our ISU clones again. What's up, man? Can you hear me? ISU clones. Well,
hey, while you're waiting for him, good on Iowa State going out and getting a special teams coordinator.
You think that's going to make the difference for him?
Maybe they'll make some of those soul-crushing field goals they missed this year.
Maybe so. They'll beat Kansas next year if they can make a field goal.
Possibly.
Probably wouldn't help too much against TCU there in the finale, but.
No, but, I don't want to brag on TCU too much.
Well, you really can after the Georgia debacle.
See, I don't get why, I know I'm in a Texas Tech space.
Yeah.
But I don't understand, all these other fan bases, just dumping all over TCU, especially, I think we heard it more from SMU fans that were like, what have they ever done?
Yeah.
I mean, we're playing for a national title. You would kill for that opportunity.
I would certainly take 12-0 with no Big 12 title and a 60-point loss to the national championship for that experience. 100%.
58, sir.
Sorry, 58. My bad. That's my bad. Do want to take a reminder here that we are brought to you by Barnett, Howard, and Williams on these spaces, the postgame and the midweek. We'll be back on Thursday. If nobody else has any final thoughts, we'll wrap it up here. Again, Texas Tech losing tonight. They are 0-6 in conference play. We'll talk more offseason football on Thursday night. If you want to join us on the Twitch stream Thursday nights, you can. You can just go over to patreon.com/gamblinggauchos. Join us on the Discord. It's a fun game day atmosphere as well. Big Hen, a big guy. Oh, hey, wait, we got one more request. We'll let Sing Scarlet in here real quick. Speaking of the Discord, or you can follow us on YouTube at Gambling Gauchos on YouTube, and we'll stream on Sunday nights as well. Both of those at 8 p.m. I'm guessing this is Shelby. Shelby, what's up?
Hey, it is Shelby. Y'all know what I'm going to say if you've heard me before. There's another game tomorrow.
Oh, yes,
I know
there
we're all
is.
looking for some promising things. We're talking about all the other sports, but the women's team is playing UT, those ugly burnt orange little Longhorns, at the USA tomorrow night. And if they win this, it's 3 of 4 in the Big 12. They're at 500, and they're actually really contenders to make the tournament for the first time since like 2013. And they really need our support. So if you're in the Lubbock area, get there. And if you're not, watch it on TV, just like we watch these, and tweet up a storm because they see that stuff. They need the support, and they deserve it. So that's all I wanted to say. Great spaces as always, and hang in there, everybody.
Absolutely.
Hopefully things will turn around.
Well, that too. But in the meantime, we can focus on the Lady Raiders for sure. That's a Wednesday night tip-off in Lubbock, as she said. UT, and I would like nothing more than to whip Vic Schaefer's ass as many times as possible. And if Gerlich wants to get in a sucker punch, I would absolutely endorse that. Well, maybe not. Maybe not on the court, but maybe behind the scenes we can get something going on that.
Hey, Kyle, you want a quick fun fact?
Yes.
We're coming up Thursday. Will be the 1-year anniversary of TCU women's basketball last conference win.
Yikes. And that was against Texas Tech?
It was against Texas Tech.
Was that the stupid corner three that rolled out after a rebound?
I believe so. I'd have
Brutal.
to go back and look, but I think you're right.
And that was their last conference win?
Their last conference win.
Oh.
They are staring 0-18 right in the face this year.
That's not good.
No, I feel bad for the fighting Reagan Peebleys.
That's tough. Well, maybe they can bounce back in the next couple weeks.
We got OU tomorrow. That'll
Yeah, well,
Probably be a loss.
yeah, I don't know. Well, maybe the next one. Maybe if you play Kansas State soon. Kansas State's not very good either.
Fingers crossed.
All right. Well, there was the women's basketball. I will, if you have not watched the Lady Raiders this year, highly encourage you to do that. Texas is actually ranked again, top 25, but they are not quite as good as they've been lately. Certainly would be a huge win in Lubbock. Texas Tech split against the Longhorns last year. I believe they won in Austin and then lost in Lubbock. So that one's a big one as well. Kyle, give me an emoji if you want to say something. If not, we're getting off, man. Oh, he's requested. All right. Here's the real Kyle.
Oh man, sorry. I thought that was, sorry, Rob. I've
That's
been
all
calling
right.
you Kyle all night.
That's all right. I wasn't going to correct you. Kyle, what's up?
I heard we were having a good time in here, so I thought I'd swing by.
Well, you missed the two guys that were requesting earlier, Desmond and the boys.
Yeah. Is that the ones you texted me about?
Yeah.
Goodness. Yeah, and then I heard that somebody was calling you Kyle, but I didn't know that was Ray.
Yeah. Sorry. Our
'Cause the
friends.
Tech fans who were telling me about that probably don't know the connection there with Ray and Lupton and everything. But anyway, I heard there was some good K-State, Iowa State chatter going on. They're having a great season, both squads. Do we need to adopt a Farmageddon team for postseason play?
If you were going to, who would you choose?
I don't know. I love them both so much.
Yeah.
Should I use the next 6 weeks to compete for their? Should we do a Dana Beers style, but only between the Farmageddon programs and be which one should we pick for March Madness?
Yeah. I mean, no offense to Ray here. I don't think I want to get on any TCU bandwagons. I'm not going to get on a Texas or Kansas bandwagon. If there was another Big 12 school that I was going to jump on early, it would have to be Kansas State. No offense to our friend Mr. Otzelberger either. I just am a huge Jerome Tang fan. It's a kick in the glass, man.
Jerome Tang, man. We never mind. I don't want to go there.
I will say that post-game speech he gave on the court tonight was pretty awesome.
To the fan, I need to catch that. I heard about that and some of his post-game comments. That dude just feels like he gets it.
What if we, in the same year, hired 2 assistants away from Baylor in 2 different sports?
Can only dream, man.
Back in 2021. What if we had just done that?
What if?
What if Joey was on recruiting class number 4 right now?
Oh, even, I mean, all the way back to 2020 when everyone wanted to, when the Baylor players were like, hey, let's hire this guy.
Yeah.
And they're like, nah, we'll hire Dave Aranda.
Well, and Tang was probably ready to go back then, too. What if you had hired both of them in 2020?
He's been there 20 years.
Oh, my gosh. Anyway, I said I wasn't going to go there.
Yeah, we won't have to go there. Any final thoughts, Kyle, since we have you? Do you have any catastrophic injuries lately?
The only catastrophic injury is any bookie willing to give me the Texas Tech opponent money line, because that is generating some pretty good ROI so far this season.
At plus money, nonetheless.
Yeah, sometimes you could have had Oklahoma for plus money. Most of them are pretty close, even when they're not plus money.
Sure.
But hey, 6-0 is 6-0. So there's a small silver lining for anybody who maybe partakes in that sort of thing.
That's a rough silver lining to have, my man.
You could do worse than making money on these games.
Yeah, you could actually be coaching and playing in them. All right. We will be back on Thursday, as I said earlier. If you want to get in on the Twitch stream, you can. Sorry, Texas Tech Championships. We'll get you next time. We're just wrapping up. We are the Gambling Gauchos. Myself, Rob Bro, Kyle Jacobson. We'll be back on Thursday for a regularly scheduled episode. And then Sunday night on YouTube Live, you can follow us there as well. Love y'all.